So let me just start this video off by saying that this recipe right here is a total experiment. And in it we're going to be taking a traditional cornbread recipe and trying to infuse the flavors of molasses and ginger. And let's just see how it turns out. So to start off, we're going to get a large mixing bowl and we're going to mix together our dry ingredients, and here we're going to be adding a 50-50 blend of cornmeal and flour. We're also going to put some baking soda, some salt, and we're going to give it all a good mixing. And the reason you want to mix it up very well here is because cornmeal and flour generally don't like to combine very well, and you just want to make sure you get out any of the larger lumps. And here I'm going to take our butter and we're going to start by browning about half of it. And the browning of the butter really just helps bring a nutty flavor to it. I generally, when I bake with butter, I like to brown it ahead of time because, again, it adds a really nice nutty flavor and just really deepens it. But also the molasses is going to deepen the flavor as well, so that's why I'm only doing half the butter here. And of course I'm going to add in the other half right as the butter that we heated up starts to cool a little bit. That way we don't lose any of the moisture from the other butter. Now here I'm also going to add some of the honey and molasses just to make it easier to mix in. We're going to add some of our brown sugar, dark brown sugar of course. And I do want to stress that dark brown sugar is used because it again adds a really deep flavor, and that's kind of the idea that we want to go with for this cake because the flavor of ginger is so strong. And of course, to the rest of our wet ingredients, we're going to add our buttermilk, and you want to add the buttermilk about half of it at a time just because it is at room temperature, so it is a little bit thicker. And then after that we're going to add in our eggs. Of course the exact measurements are going to be down in the description as well as the recipe, and we're just going to make sure we mix that together very well. And of course I'm going to put that to the side, and we're going to bust open our can of sweet corn here. And you can use just the regular corn, but here I like to use sweet creamed corn style just because I'm not a big fan of the super chunky corn kernels in cornbread. So this is generally what I prefer. Now of course, as you see, there's a ton of extra liquid in there, and you don't really want that liquid, at least I don't, so I'm going to strain it off and let it just sit for a few moments. And while it's sitting and draining, I'm going to add in some of our wet ingredients into our dry ingredients and really slowly fold it in. You don't want to overmix this, almost like you're making a waffle batter or pancake batter. So the goal isn't to overmix, you just want to combine it all nicely. And of course we're going to add in our sweet creamed corn here, and again, trying not to overmix, we're just going to fold it into the batter nicely. And I might be kind of weird here, but I do kind of like little pockets of extra flour, especially when I'm really loosely mixing like this, just because I feel like it comes out a little bit crunchier, little crunchy bits, which are really good. And now here I'm going to grate in some fresh ginger, and definitely go easy on this. You don't want to go too strong with the ginger flavor, just because it can be a little overwhelming. And once I mixed it all together, I'm going to put it in a fairly hot skillet. I've had this skillet preheating in the oven at our temperature, so that way we get a nice crusty outside. Because as you know here, we're all about that crust. And definitely a baking technique that I really love to do, especially with something that's sweet, is I like to brush it with an invert sugar, so either honey or corn syrup. Here I'm doing a honey and butter mix because I really want the brownness of the top, but also a nice crunchy sweet layer to form. And of course it's going to make the top shiny as well, which is a bonus, so it'll look great in pictures. Now I kind of came up with this because of a cookie that I had up in Maine, which was a ginger and molasses cookie, and I really felt that it would go great with a cornbread type of flavor. And I honestly think this recipe came out really well, so definitely you guys should try it, mix it up, change up the ingredient amounts a bit if you want more ginger or if you want it to be more sweet. Try it out and get back to me. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.